Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's episode. I'm absolutely freezing right now in my office. And my stomach is probably going to growl and my voice keeps going in and out. I just recorded a Girls with Opinions episode, which if you're not familiar, I have another podcast called Girls with Opinions with my friend Erin. It's amazing. Go check it out. But I just recorded with her. I recorded a podcast episode yesterday as well. And so I think that on top of the weather changing here in Michigan, my voice keeps going in and out. I'm going to try my best to speak with some authority today so that it doesn't go in and out. But just in case, I thought I would forewarn you. I'm also sitting here with my white monster. I'll show you if you're watching on video. And I also have a kind bar. It's a cranberry almond. And then it says with almonds. I would hope so if it's cranberry almond flavor. But anyway, those are my snacks today as I am just powering through recording some episodes and editing and all the things for you guys today. But I'm super excited to be recording this episode. The last two episodes have been about workouts and resting and some kind of in detailed things. And I think my brain just wants to have a little fun today and talk to you and give you some, not even tough love, just have a conversation, kind of like I used to do more often. I feel like where I would just sit down and talk to you and spill from my heart instead of reading notes and I know that's fine too. I know we like a good mix here at the Unfuck Your Fitness podcast, but I don't know. I feel like I'm just up for something a little more lighthearted. And really what I'm thinking is I have been hearing a lot of my personal clients lately talking about being stressed about the next step in their journey. So for example, I will get a one-on-one client, set up with workouts and maybe some sprints sprinkled in, and we've got their macros down and we're really working on nailing the basics. And for whatever reason, instead of just staying in that moment where we have them set up and they're seeing success and I'm getting messages saying, I'm doing great, I'm feeling good, this is working, everything's great. And this happens around the 6-week mark with most of my one-on-one clients where we find this really, really sweet spot and they feel really, really good. And for whatever reason, right after that, and I'm sure that I do the same thing on occasion, and I'm sure that I used to do the same thing when I was early on in my journey, for whatever reason, and I know what reason, I'm just saying whatever reason right now, but I'm going to get into that in a minute, they start to jump to the next thing. Like, okay, well, how long am I going to have to do these workouts? How long do you think before I see results? How long do you think before, or not see results because they're seeing results? How long do you think it'll be before I hit my goal? How long do you think before I'm perfect at tracking macros? How long before I should start a cut? How long before I should start reversing? How long before I should the next thing is creeping into their brain instead of just being okay with what they're doing now, instead of sitting in that, counting their wins, I don't know, celebrating themselves, counting their wins. And I know I just said that, but in a way that's like really sit in it and think about what you're doing differently and appreciate that. We don't take the time to do that. My clients don't take the time to do that. And I see this a lot on social media. And this is where it creeps in. It's at least one of the parts that it creeps in is social media. And so I've been seeing, I think this mixed with this part with my one-on-one clients mixed with seeing on social media, the 6-week program, you'll see rounded glutes in 4 weeks if you do this. You'll see results in 10 days if you do this, 21 days if you do this. I get a lot of questions about when should I build? When should I cut? When should I reverse? When should I maintain? When, right? How to plan out my year. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think what I want to talk about is all of those things mixed together. And that's good to have goals and to have a plan. I have a lot of one-on-one calls with people that aren't even my clients. We jump on a call together, and this is not on my website. You have to message me and ask for this, but I do one-on-one calls like this where we talk for an hour and we set them up. We're into April, so we can really talk about where you're at in your journey now and what that's going to look like for the next year. What should you do for the next 8 weeks? And then what should you do for summer? And then when should you put yourself into a reverse? And what does that look like based on your lifestyle and your workouts? I talk about planning the future and, mapping it out because that's important. I don't want you to just wing it, right? I always talk about planning and setting yourself up for success. That is important, to think ahead, to plan ahead, to have a vision, to have a plan, to know how you're going to go or how you're going to get that goal. I feel like that is the roadmap, right? If you're going on a trip, you have to know where you're going, first of all, and you have to know how to get there. What does the trip look like? Where are you going? You going north, south, east, west? What are you doing? What does this look like? What roads are we taking? When do we need to leave? You have to have the roadmap to get to where you're going on a trip. And you have to have a roadmap to get where you're going physically. If you want body recomp, if you want to run a race, if you want to build muscle, if you want to be in a bodybuilding competition, what do you want? I've talked about this in so many episodes. And how do you get there? And I help people figure out how to get there. That is what I love to do, and really simplify it and unfuck it, right? But the problem is that we always are looking towards the goal. If your goal is to lose 20 pounds, you never celebrate the 1 pound. It's always like, I only lost 1 pound. Well, how the fuck do you think you're going to lose 20 if you don't lose them one at a time? You have to lose them one at a time. You're not going to wake up one morning and see a 20-pound loss without seeing the 1, the 2, the 5, the 12, the 15, the 18, and then the 20, right? Like, I think we forget that middle ground. And that's really what I want to just kind of word vomit on you today about, because we get so lost in the sauce. And to bring it back to why you're feeling this way, I have been really struggling with social media lately in this sense. I think in general, yesterday I had this conversation with myself. Yes, with myself in the car, talking to myself. I know I talk to you guys and I talk to myself. Don't worry, I don't have a microphone. When I talk to myself, it's just me. Okay. I'm not that crazy. But in the car, I literally said to myself, I would delete social media if I didn't work on it. I don't want to have Facebook anymore. I don't want to have an Instagram account anymore. And that's not necessarily true. Like, I was just really frustrated with what I was seeing. And that just means I need to do an audit. That means I need to clean out my friends list. That means I need to check on who I'm following on social media, because that's the content that I'm seeing. The content I'm seeing on social media is my algorithm. It's designed by me. If I wasn't watching fitness content, I wouldn't see fitness content, obviously, but more so the fitness content that pisses me off. And I watch it because it's annoying, and I probably send it to, my other friends in this space, and, we talk about it and we're like, oh, this is so annoying. Actually, I have been doing that with another personal trainer that I follow online. She and I have been talking about this one account specifically that we're like, oh my goodness, this girl is keeping us employed basically, because she's just spreading so much nonsense that people are probably believing. And it's just like reminding us that we have a job to do. But what I'm trying to say is social media is something that, even when I see it, stresses me out in the sense that, especially lately, I've been seeing fancy terms, different terms for the things that we already have dealt with, right? Skinny talk right now. I had someone ask me, can I do an episode on skinny talk? I don't know what the fuck that means. I know that it means TikTok, and I know that they're talking about being skinny. And so I kind of like know what skinny talk is. I don't really get on TikTok, I'll be honest, like at all. If I do, I'm looking at something that my kids sent me, or I got on last night to look at an outfit to go to the Zach Bryan concert with my daughter in a couple of weeks, because she told me there was inspo on there. Really didn't find anything, but wish me luck on that. But I know skinny talk, right, is just this algorithm that, because they can't be certified personal trainers, and I'm assuming it's mostly women, because I don't know that men would be targeted with skinny talk. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm assuming, this is purely assumption, I'm assuming that these are just skinny women that are not certified personal trainers, or maybe even, I hope they're not registered dietitians or anything like that, macro coaches, because I don't think anyone in that realm, an educated, certified, licensed realm, I don't think anyone should be encouraging skinny, honestly, but especially someone with a license. Like, we need to hold ourselves to a higher standard and not be talking about shit like that. But it's just women, right? Talking about how it feels so much better to be hungry than to be fat, and things like that. And just recipes to be skinny and encouraging people to be skinny. I've never really I've seen compilations of it from other personal trainers, certified, licensed people that I love and look up to, talking about, hey, skinny talk is just bringing back what used to be skinny models, skinny women in Hollywood, right? Encouraging skinny. Skinny is beautiful. Skinny is better. Skinny is great. Models were skinny, all the things. Skinny, skinny, skinny. We got away from that for a little bit, I feel like, and it went to more health and body positivity. Not a huge, that's a struggle for me in that realm. But we got away from that, and it was more towards being strong and taking up space, right? Eating healthy, building glutes, all of those types of things, which I love. And we need to stay there. But I know skinny talk is a thing because I get asked about it all the time. I don't watch it and yuck. Please don't watch it. Change your algorithm, block those people to get them off of your feed because ew. I think there is a part of the GLP-1 trend that is also leading towards skinny and smaller and shrinking. And that point of view, I think that is part of it as well. I think it's packaged differently, but ultimately it is encouraging. It's kind of, and I should do a podcast on this separately if I can get my thoughts around it. I think, encouraging GLP-1s around, and they are, I'm not going to get into this huge in this, but for GLP-1s, they are absolutely great and necessary for some people. But when they are packaged in a way that is just, lose weight, be skinny, have your dream body, quiet the food noise, don't have to worry about what you eat anymore. Those types of wording, that very much to me is the same thing as, things like Jenny Craig and things where it's just like no carb, low carb, be skinny, small, 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 eat less, count everything, be obsessive, right? In my head and with a lot of clients that I have coached that have come out of that type of GLP-1 mindset, it's the same thing. And so we also have things like cortisol right now that are really big. People are talking about cortisol face, lower your cortisol. This is not a new thing. We have not just created cortisol. What are we doing? Cortisol face, like get some lymphatic drainage, go for a walk. You don't need a supplement for cortisol. You don't need a detox supplement to detox. You need to just eat healthier, move your body. You have a liver that detoxes, right? You don't need a supplement, not always, for inflammation. You don't need to eat. You don't need to be paleo. You don't need to cut carbs. You don't need to be skinny. You don't need to, right, work more, cardio, cardio, cardio. We're coming back to that mindset on social media, and it's pissing me off, along with just social media in general being so overwhelming. And I think that's what I kind of want to stick with right here is when you're on social media all the time, me included, it's just overwhelming. I don't get sucked in by any of this stuff, but I know a lot of people do. I know a lot of you listening are going to see something on social media probably today and want to buy it or want to try it or want to see it, or you're going to see someone on social media who has made great progress and you're going to feel like you're behind, right? Social media is great for that comparison trap. It's great for thinking you're behind. It's great for feeling like shit about yourself. It's great for making you wonder if you should be doing these workouts instead of the ones you're already doing, making you wonder, should I do more HIIT? Should I do CrossFit? Should I do these classes? Should I run? How fast should I run? How long should I run? I saw a reel this morning and like the girl was talking about, it was basically rude. The wording on the screen was just here to fucking remind you to not put your hands on your hips or on the bars when you're walking on the treadmill. Move your hands for, if you want to actually see results. And I just read that, like, first of all, that's rude. Why are you saying it so aggressively? And second of all, as if your steps aren't going to count if your hands are on your hips. It's just another way for people to think, especially if you're in a position where they're marketing to you, right? That's a targeted ad towards someone who doesn't know how the body works. And I'm not saying that you even have to know exactly how the body works. Me seeing that pisses me off. And I'm like, why would you say that? There's already enough misinformation or misleading information out there. We don't need stupid things like don't put your hands on your hips when you're walking on the treadmill. I put my hands on my hips every single day when I'm walking on the treadmill. Not the whole time, but sometimes I'm like, I am dying going on this incline. My hands are on my hips. The steps still, your body is still moving, right? You don't necessarily need electrolytes in every glass of water that you're having so that you can be more hydrated. Just drink more fucking water. Like, social media is so good at making us feel like we're not doing enough, or there's always something that we could be buying, or it's creating issues that it will help you fix, right? Now you have cortisol face. Surprise, we have a supplement for it. You need a detox because you're feeling a little puffy in the face. Surprise, we have a supplement for it. You might have blank issue, fill in the blank, and surprise, we have a supplement for it. This isn't really that hard. I want to talk about that too for a second. And on the supplement train here. I've been thinking about this a lot lately too. Supplements, supplements, supplements. I love supplements. Don't get me wrong. Currently, I'm only taking EAAs, which I'm having Liz Plosser from Keon on the podcast soon. And I'm so excited to be talking about her about my favorite EAAs, which are essential amino acids. I'm taking creatine and I'm taking a pre workout and I'm taking prebiotic called Deep-Loop. I can link them or let you know. The links are always in my Instagram bio. But anyway, that's all I'm taking right now for supplements. It's shocking to me how many people would rather go buy a supplement or buy a shot instead of tracking macros, which is free, by the way. I mean, if you want to get the paid version of an app, I think my Fitness Pal costs me $60 a year. A year. People will complain to me, oh my God, $60 I have to pay for my Fitness Pal now. Yeah, but you're also buying supplements that you don't need. And you're also paying for shots probably that you don't need. You're getting peptides that you're not sure if they work from someone on the internet that you don't fucking know. So why don't you just pay for an app to track your food to learn how to fuel your body? I digress. But on the supplement train, if your gut isn't healthy, if you're not hitting your protein, if you're not hitting a step goal, if you're not lifting weights, why the fuck are you taking supplements? They're not going to do anything for you. Your main priority should be, yeah, they work together, right? They work hand in hand, okay? But you cannot outsmart your body. You can't sit around all day. You can't not lift. You can't not eat enough or eat too much, but then take a supplement and think, oh, this is going to work. This is a magic supplement. I think this will fix my body. I think cortisol face will help me lose weight. If I take this supplement for my cortisol face, certainly I'll lose that 20 pounds. Absolutely not. We are focused on the wrong things. And that I think is what I want to be the social message here, or like the strong message of this podcast is you have a goal. You need to know how to get there. And then you need to stay focused on the present moment of what you are doing to get there. Social media is a huge distraction. And what I want to encourage you to do is unfollow so many people on social media. So many people. You don't need to see most of the stuff on social media. And if you unfollow a lot of people on social media, you might scroll less, which I think is great as well. These are little tangents here, but it's all on my heart. So you're getting it. I know that we've created the infinite scroll now. Whoever did that, fuck you. Sorry, I'm just kind of aggressive today. But truly, I want to remember when social media was like you would only see posts of people that you followed and like people that you know. Now you're seeing an endless amount of information and reels, and it's comedy, and then people are dying, and then it's puppies, and then it's divorced dads. And it's like such an array of things on your phone that you could sit there for hours. And I know that's the point, and scroll. So there's two things there. Unfollow people on social media because you don't need to see it. Trust me, you don't need to see it. Another thing about social media, it is such a time suck. People that are telling me, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to work out. And I know you've heard this before. If you don't have time to work out, check your screen time because I bet you do. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but also check your screen time. Every time you pick up your phone, and I'm getting so much better at this. I pick up my phone, I open Instagram, and I used to say to myself, well, I work on Instagram. I have to be on there. I have to look at it. And then I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling. I'm always asking myself, what am I watching? What am I watching? What am I doing? What app am I on? What am I checking? Because you open your phone to check the weather, and then you see a notification, and then you open Instagram to check the notification, and then you check the notification. Well, then you swipe out. Well, then you see a reel, and then you're scrolling, 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 scrolling. An hour later, you're like, what? What was I even doing? You got on there. It's like we just don't even know anymore what we're doing. We don't even know what we're up to, why we're up to it. So we need to be really careful with our time. We need to be really careful with our energy, with what we are seeing, with what we are intaking. And those are two things I really, really want you to start doing because social media is such a time suck. I see my kids on it. I see myself on it. I see other people on it. I see my clients, if you're listening, I see you posting reels to your stories, sharing reels, and then telling me, I don't have time to work out. Unless you are on the treadmill or in between, like if you're having a rest period, maybe a 2-minute rest period and you're scrolling, and you've shared that reel, perfect. If you're on your phone sharing reels to your stories and then you're telling me I don't have time to work out, grind my gears. Like I can't with that. We have to control our time. And I know it's an endless scroll and I know it's designed for that, but ultimately you are in control of your own body and your own life. That's the part of being present that I want to talk about too, right? Again, we have our long-term goal. We have our roadmap to get there. We know what we're doing. We're focused. Bring it back to today. What am I doing today? Don't focus on a next shiny object, another supplement, or how fast am I going to get to that goal? Shut up and think about what you are doing right now. If you're on your phone scrolling right now when you should be going for a walk, you should be meal prepping, you should be grocery shopping, you should call a friend, you should hang out with your kids, you should pick up the house, you should go walk the dog, you should play with your dog. Go do something productive and get off your phone. Number one, because that is such a time suck where you're like, I don't have time to work out and you're on your phone. Another way that social media, which we just talked about, it's overwhelming. So get off of it. If you're on Instagram and you're seeing so much shit about fitness and about that person's doing more than me and that person's doing this program and she's working out this day a week, and she's probably not. She's probably lying, first of all. But even if she is, that's not helpful for you to see that on your phone all the time. Shut it off and go take action on what you are supposed to do. Look down at your feet. Where are you? What are you doing? Be present in that moment and you will not only feel so much better because you will be taking action, but you will see results. You will see results if you just go do the thing. Do it tired, do it hungry, do it depressed, do it unmotivated. Just get off your phone and go do the thing you're supposed to do because, and I'm just harping on the phone right now because it just is so distracting when we are seeing these supplements and we're seeing these ailments now that we think we have, and we're seeing workouts that we think are great, and we're seeing people that are ahead of us. Social media is so distracting. And it is really, I feel like it is just really something huge that I see when people are learning, or even podcasts. That's something else too that I've been listening to for quite a while now. Well, I'm a crime junkie now. So I listen to true crime podcasts. And I'm also just listening to fun podcasts, like some about business, but it's more lighthearted, fun business, or just two girls hanging out, chatting about their lives and funny things and funny stories and Reddit stories, because I'm thinking, and sometimes I catch myself and I'm like, I need to listen to some songs. This is getting a little much to think about or do, or stories or whatever. And it's still someone else's stories, right, that I'm thinking about. Sometimes I just need music. But ultimately, if you're taking in so much information from podcasts, but you're like, they're helpful, right? They're about finances or they're about fitness and I'm learning. But sometimes then you're learning too much and you're still concerned with all these things, right? If you're concerned with finances, but then it's like, well, I heard it this way on this podcast and this way on this podcast, and someone said it this way. There's so much conflicting data. And there's also just so much data that you don't need. Sometimes you just need to forget it all and go for a walk, go do your workout, go meal prep. Just do something. Okay. I want you to just remember that this is bigger than fitness. This is your life. These are your moments. Like, this is the way you live, but it can start with fitness. I think fitness like trickles into every area of your life. And so when I'm talking about fitness and your plan and your path and how to get there, but then I'm saying, shut all that off and do what you need to do now, and be thankful that you lost a pound, and be thankful that you gained some muscle, and be thankful that the scale didn't go up, even if it didn't move at all. If it didn't go down, so you're pissed off about it, just change that. At least it didn't go up, right? And get that out of your mind and go take action anyway. Don't think, well, I'm not any closer to my goal. You are. If you get up and you go for a walk, or you get up and eat something healthy, one choice at a time. You have to build that trust and build that peace. Keep your meals the same, keep your workouts the same. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Stay off social media so you're not comparing. Like, that's really, really what I want you to take away from this episode, is to have the path, to have the knowledge, but then even shut off this podcast after this episode. If you're binging this podcast and you're like, I'm feeling really overwhelmed, I don't know where to start, shut it off. Listen to your favorite album, sit down with a journal and write down what you're doing today, what you're doing tomorrow, not what you're doing next week, not what you're doing next year. What is actually right in front of me? What can I do today? What can I do right now? Not what is the whole plan? Not how am I going to lose this 20 pounds, right? Go drink some water. Go do something productive. Don't search anything. Don't ask ChatGPT anything right now. Just get up and do the thing that you know you're supposed to do. I think the information overload that you're either searching for or you're just seeing on the internet, and then thinking about the next best thing. Remember that this journey can be a little bit boring. And what I want to say, compound, like it just, you do the same things over and over. It can be a little redundant. That's good. when you are feeling a little bored in your fitness journey and you're feeling like, oh my God, I have to do this again. That's good. I want you to get so excited and be like, I have to do this again. I don't have to look at something new. I don't have to try anything new. That is so great. Okay. So I want you to just sit in this moment, be thankful, be present, go do something right now, and don't think about the long term goal all the time. Stay focused, stay focused, stay focused. These little tiny things matter. And that's kind of all I wanted to talk about in today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was just a good little chit chat from me to you. I really I know you can tell when I get heated in these moments of just pouring my heart out because I do get frustrated on social media. I do get frustrated I don't get frustrated with my clients a lot. I mean, sometimes if I'm like, I just saw you share reels on your story and now you're sending me a message right after saying, I don't have time to work out. And I'm like, you were just on Instagram for 45 minutes because I can see the time span from when you shared those. You're all going to unfriend me now. But truly, I do get a little frustrated then because I'm like, pay attention. But also, I know how hard it is to pay attention. And I know you need someone in your ear saying, pay attention, just focus, just get up, just do the thing, just disconnect, right? It's okay to do those things. And I think the more that we're aware of it and you can just say, be present, that's the takeaway. So when you are feeling overwhelmed, when you are feeling like, what's the next thing? When do I cut? When do I reverse? When do I do a surplus? How do I work out? All these questions come flailing in. Sit back, take a deep breath, and focus on one thing at a time because spinning out of control like that, and trust me, I'm really good at spinning out of control. I can go in a downward spiral like nobody's business, but I have learned to stop, control, and just think about the next step. That is so, so helpful. So I really, truly hope that this helps you to just calm down while we are, I know, don't ever tell a woman to calm down, but I'm telling you to kind of calm down. But truly, while we're talking about resting and we're talking about rest periods and rest days and just kind of arranging your workouts a little bit smarter, like we talked about last week, this one needs to be in your brain too, as far as just taking your rest days and being productive with them, but also being where your feet are. Just be very, very present. So, again, I hope this episode was helpful. Please share it with someone who needs it. Please go rate and review the podcast. I would love it so much if you did. And I will talk to you next week.